Hey Umbraco fans, carrying straight on from the last demo, which was for the introduction to what data list is. I'm going to just dive straight into showing you the different types of data sources that you can have for data list. So it'll give you a bit more in depth into what's going on. So the last time we picked a .NET enumeration, enum, from Umbraco, but what you get in the configuration of these is you get a list of all of the assemblies that are in your your .NET project. I mean, if you're non-technical, you want to have a stab at this. Don't worry too much. But you can pick whichever. So let's just say we pick something from the .NET Core library. Trying to think of which ones to show. The days of the week is always a good one. Yeah, so what I'm going to try and do here is show you side by side. I've got obviously two browser windows open next to each other, where I'll make changes in here, press save, and then I'll come over to the content and show you, just refresh the page to show you that you can change these data sources with relative ease. So whatever enum you can use, and the other configuration option on here is whether you want them to be sorted alphabetically. Obviously in days of the week that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it may for something else. So the other data sources that we have available, we have a file system, JSON, SQL, a CSV, and an XML. So I'll run through each of these and just give you a quick overview with the checkbox list to show you what they're all capable of. So if we go to choose file system, now this is a fresh Umbraco 8.64 install, so I've not really got any files. I've only got my own files and things. I've only got things that came with the Umbraco install itself. So I was trying to think of things that would give me a list that I could show you in a reasonable way. And what I've found is that the grid editors have got some partial views. So if I'm copy and pasting from Notepad here. So yeah, I give it a path, which is the partial views folder for the grid editors, and say I only want the Razor files from there. So I press done, save, flip over to the content page. You will see then that these have been populated in here, and that's anything from the file system. So that could be, let's just say you were doing something with like a list of CSS files and you wanted to have like a theme picker. You could use it for that. And next up is JSON. Now JSON uses JSON path. Now if I should really show you the XML one first, because that's using XPath. So JSON path is meant to be an equivalent of XPath for JSON. I tend to struggle with it quite a lot. I don't really get it conceptually on what the syntax is, so I'm gonna play kind of safe. One JSON file that comes with Umbraco is the grid editors. So I'm going to just use the list of these grid editors just to pop those in there. So I'll just copy paste some values in. So the grid editors config, which is in the config folder. It took me ages to figure out this item syntax. So what this is doing is, as you go, is picking where you want the items from the data source. And what we know, if I come back over to the JSON, I've got a name and I've got an alias that I want to use for the value. So for the name, that's fine. And then for the alias, put that in. And if you wanted to have icons, you can do. I'll show you how the icons work in a separate video for the list editors. Okay, so that saves that JSON data, and if I reload this page, okay, we see that then we get those lists of things from the JSON itself, and the value it will save when you save that, if you pick different ones, will save the alias. So you'll get an array of those values. Next up, we've got some SQL. They've added some SQL in here. I'm trying to think of things that would be quite nice to demo in here. So what this can do is give you the connection string as well. If you want to use it from a different database, this just reads from your web config. And then if I save this, what that SQL will do is to give you like a list of all the data types that we've got installed in Umbraco. So that's just a raw SQL query. It's going straight to there. I realize I'm running out of time for my 5-minute limit. The other ones are CSV and an XML data. The XML, similar to the XPath one, you put in the source, whether it's local or remote, you pick your items, and that's all. I should list them. All right, so yeah, real quick demo. I'll do more later. Bye.